Hi, my name's Kamrie Lowy, and this is Unit 2, Assignment 2 for DHH 638. So I unfortunately don't have a class that I can specifically teach this lesson in, but I do still want to explain how I would approach the lesson in an actual classroom, as well as show you some of the documents and visuals that I have created in order to support my lesson. My first lesson is actually based off a lesson regarding Benjamin Franklin, and I chose that because he is an important, influential person within American history, and so I wanted to also choose somebody that was influential in the deaf history for my modified lesson. So with that, the original lesson that I had chosen was for a first grade classroom, and that was to discuss about the innovations and the inventions and the importance that Benjamin Franklin had on America and society and all the good things that he actually created at the time. With my lesson, I actually bumped it up to fourth grade because I feel that the information that I was trying to get across to students that are for an influential person within the deaf culture would be better comprehended at that level, but overall the structure of the lesson is relatively similar. I'm still asking for things such as knows regarding what the students know regarding the individual, as well as what they want to know, and that's incorporated in my lesson as well as in the original lesson that I had searched out for. So for my lesson, I actually chose Laurent Clerc. He is considered to be the father of deaf culture in America. He was one of two individuals that started the American School for the Deaf in Connecticut. So I felt that he was an appropriate individual for students to be aware of, and who most students are aware of because he is so influential. So the first things that I really started out with and stated in my lesson plan was regarding the Common Core standards. A lot of these Common Core standards are just to interpret visual information orally, as far as graphs or timelines and animations, interactive elements, and that's just to pretty much verify that they understand through visual imagery of the information that has been given to them. I also added in there for reading instruction to comprehend informational text as far as history and social studies go. I think that varies a little bit compared to comprehension reading assignments through language arts, reading books that are more so interesting to them than anything. And also to research and build present knowledge, I think is really important. Another Common Core standards that I added in there. So to retell a topic or a text and story in their own words and present it as well. And then the last one that I ended up with for my Common Core standard was comprehension and collaboration. So just to gather a range of collaborative discussions, one-to-one groups, peer interactions with the teacher, as well as with additional peers to build ideas and to express their own in order to create also an additional understanding of where others' opinions and facts come from too, I think are really important for fourth graders to understand. So for my lesson, we have my overall outcomes are for students to appreciate the dedication and the hard work, as well as the history that goes behind the American School for the Deaf and his one of the founders, Laurent Clerc. I want them to understand just basic background history of who he was, where he came from, how he essentially became deaf, or was told, I guess the story that was told that how he became deaf. And then also to create a short visual presentation through a PowerPoint or a poster to show what their level of understanding actually was. At the very end, they will be required to write a 2-paragraph short blurb regarding their favorite part or one of their favorite informational texts regarding Laurent Clerc as well. So for pre-academic and pre-assessment, one of the things I really think is important is to be placed in small groups and have students up on the board have a image that says know and want to know, and it would look something along the lines like this. If you can see that. Sorry, it's backwards. And what that does is it lets the students kind of collaborate with each other and say, what do we know about this individual already, and what are some things that we actually really want to know as well. Differentiation and accommodations that are important for students as far as assessing or meeting the needs of EL students, students with special needs, emotionally disabled, or even students with hearing loss. Our use of visuals are clearly important, and you'll see that in my lesson as well that I've created. Repeating and rephrasing verbal instructions, using a personal FM, I always add, providing additional information or requirements for higher achieving students, providing reduced or shortened assignments for those students who have a hard time completing their work, providing frequent breaks, front-loading vocabulary, and breaking down lessons into small segments so that you can teach them without overwhelming them as well, I think is really important. A few things that you might need is a pencil and a paper, computer access, which will be granted at school during the library, markers, poster board, and a piece of paper. So it's really not a lot to this assignment. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is splitting up, like I said, into two sections regarding the know and want to know, and really trying to figure out what the kids' level of understanding is. So we'll gather that short list. The students will copy that information from the board, and then I have a PowerPoint that I will actually show the students along with two short YouTube videos regarding Laurent Clerc that provide visuals as well as information at their level of understanding too as far as verbiage goes. And I will be showing you that in just a second. And then what I want them to do is create a visual of their own of the information that they have gathered and what they have learned in the form of a PowerPoint or a poster board presentation that they can present as a group to the class. And then lastly, the thing that I would that I'm recommending or requiring is that 2-paragraph essay on what's your favorite part of learning about Laurent Clerc and the American School of the Deaf, and I want them to provide details why. And then the second part to that short answer is, would you like to experience or attend a unique school such as American School for the Deaf, why or why not? And I want them to talk about similarities in public school as well as the American School for the Deaf as well. Checks for understanding are going to include the informal assessments, walking around, making sure people are understanding, asking who, what, when, where, why, how questions. No yes or no's, that's a really cop-out for a lot of students, I believe. And so I think at this point I am going to, and then, well actually in the last thing I'm going to talk about really quickly is the closure. So once everything is completed with this lesson, the students will actually be able to get up in front of the class and describe what they have learned. And I think it's important to really have a great mix of students within a group, because then you can actually have different strengths within that group. If somebody's a little bit shyer and likes to do more of the background work, then somebody else can actually stand up and present. So it kind of gives a great well-rounded group effort in order to complete this project. So for my PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to show it to you right now. Give me 1 second to just turn my camera. Oh, okay, I can't. So here is my PowerPoint presentation, Laurent Clerc for the American School for the Deaf. As you can see here, I have front-loaded some vocabulary that I thought was important that I would be explaining within the PowerPoint. Here is some basic information that the students will be able to see. Again, we're using visuals, we're using short sentences, pretty much bullet points that they can discuss and be able to reference back to. Again, we have other little modes of interesting facts regarding Laurent Clerc, as well as Thomas Gallaudet as well. And then for the American School of the Deaf, we want to always show a picture, give them some kind of visual imagery to look at when talking about it. I always like to throw in fun little facts to help them get interested and make sure that they're paying attention. And then the last thing that I'm actually presenting is a short YouTube clip regarding these two gentlemen, along with additional images and pictures. So, again, thank you for watching my video.